Kangaroo and Wallaby. Class: Mammalia, mammals. Order: Diprotodontia. Family: Macropodidae. Genera: 11. Species: 54. Lifespan: depending on the species, 7 to 18 years. Young. Gestation: 21 to 38 days, followed, based on the species, by 120 to 450 days in the pouch. Typically, there are 1 or up to 4 young during birth, depending on the species. 0.2 to 0.9 inches, 5 to 25 millimeters, long at birth, which is equivalent to a rice grain to a honeybee in size. Age at maturity: 2 to 4 years for males and 14 to 20 months for females. Size: male eastern gray kangaroos, Macropus gigantus, are the tallest at 7 feet, 2.8 meters, while Burbridge's rock wallabies, Petrogale Burbridge I, are the lowest at about 1 foot, 30 to 35 centimeters. Male red kangaroos weigh the most, ranging from 48 to 187 pounds, 22 to 85 kilograms, while Burbridge's rock wallabies, Petrogale Burbridge I, weigh the least, at less than 2 pounds, 900 grams. Fun facts: a male kangaroo is referred to as a buck, boomer, jack, or old man, whereas a female is referred to as a doe, flyer, jill, or roo. Baby honey possums are the tiniest mammals, measuring less than 5 millimeters, about 1/4 of an inch, long. The only kangaroos that can travel backward and independently of one another are tree kangaroos, which is how they descend trees. One that has emerged from the pouch but is still nursing and a newborn can both be fed at the same time by a mother kangaroo who can generate 2 different types of milk. The red kangaroo can jump up to almost 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour, making it the quickest mammal in the world. Macropodidae, the name of the kangaroo family, translates to big feet, which is a perfect description of kangaroos and their relatives. All macropod species include kangaroos, wallabies, wallaroos, quokkas, patamelons, potaroos, honey possums, and tree kangaroos. Having trouble telling kangaroos from wallaroos and wallabies? It makes sense that way. These marsupials come in more than 50 species and range in size from tiny creatures you can hold in your hands to the enormous red kangaroo that is as tall as an adult. The 6 largest macropods are referred to as kangaroos, and their size is the fundamental distinction between them and all other animals. They resemble each other little else. In the majority of species, the feet and hind legs are substantially larger and stronger than the forelimbs. Long, muscular tails with thick bases help kangaroos and wallabies balance and pivot while they hop and provide support when they are resting. The kangaroo can move in a fashion that is specific to macropods termed saltation thanks to its muscular structure. This indicates that it hops by simultaneously lifting both feet off the ground. The largest kangaroos have been recorded sprinting at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, 48 kilometers per hour, or nearly 23 feet, 7 meters, each jump. Hoping kangaroos can move without using much energy, like a perpetual motion machine. The faster kangaroos hop, at least up to their cruising speed of 20 miles, 32 kilometers per hour, the less energy they really expend. Kangaroos have strong leg muscles in addition to a large network of tendons in their tail that connect to their hip bones. The coordinated action of these muscles and tendons allows kangaroos to move swiftly. Despite their shorter stature, wallabies have a comparable build and hopping style. A kangaroo will thud its feet loudly on the ground to warn its friends when it feels danger. It can also hiss, cough, or grunt to communicate. In order to call her young, a mother may click or cluck. Fighting using the kangaroo's hands is known as boxing. The only predator of a red kangaroo is a dingo. The three common and huge kangaroos are the most well-known macropods. The largest is the red kangaroo, which can survive on very little water and is most frequently seen on Australia's interior plains. Males are called red flyers because they are maroon with a white belly and face. Red kangaroo males have a maximum height of 6 feet, 1.8 meters, and a maximum weight of 200 pounds, 90 kilograms. Females, sometimes known as blue flyers, are smaller than males, bluish-gray in color, and can fly up to 30 miles, 48 kilometers, per hour. Red kangaroos are capable of making emergency leaps across the outback that are 10 feet, 3 meters, high and 39 feet, 12 meters, long. What a bounce in your step! The slightly smaller gray kangaroos, who require more water for survival than reds and prefer living in woodlands, often inhabit woodlands but graze in grassy meadows at night. Red kangaroos prefer living on broad, grassy plains, while they can also be found in scrubland and desert habitat. While those found inland have short, dark gray hair, those in the eastern coastal regions have long, silver-gray hair. The smaller wallabies and wallaroos, which can survive in a variety of settings from moist forests to desert grasslands, are closely related to all three of the giant kangaroos. A hint as to the immensely various habitats these creatures call home should be provided by the fact that there are wallabies that live in brush, scrub, swamp, forest, and rock. Since they are smaller than their larger cousins, they can occupy a wider range of niches. Tree kangaroos are climbers rather than hoppers, which essentially reverses the conventional kangaroo form of large, muscular hind legs and smaller forelimbs. They also have a long, flexible tail that aids in balancing. Two tree kangaroo species are endemic to Australia, but the majority are found in New Guinea's deep rainforests. Tree roos are herbivores that leave their trees at night to feed grubs and vegetation, just like their ground-dwelling counterparts. Loss of habitat, getting hit by cars, and being eaten by dogs and/or dingoes are the main risks to endangered tree kangaroos. Habitat and diet. Must possess a habitat. Australia's savannas and open woods are home to red and grey kangaroos. Burrows in dry scrubland are home to tiny rat kangaroos or batongs with short noses. In the southern desert, rock wallabies inhabit almost vertical rock cliffs. As you might expect, tree kangaroos inhabit the upper reaches of the rainforest canopy of Australia and New Guinea, while musky rat kangaroos skitter in the moist, deep undergrowth. Quokkas can only be found on 2 wind-swept islands off the southwest coast of Australia, while red-necked wallabies can be found in a variety of settings, including the cold peaks of Tasmania's mountains. The 3 largest kangaroos are so tolerant of their environment that you can frequently see them residing in city parks, suburban gardens, and even golf courses. As herbivorous animals, macropods consume a variety of plants. Large kangaroos are actually the bison, deer, and cattle of Australia. All macropods have a chambered stomach that functions similarly to the stomach of ruminants like goats and sheep, and they all use their hands to pull down branches in order to access leaves. They may retrieve recently ingested plants from one compartment, chew it like cud, and then re-swallow it for final digestion. Although the size of the group depends on the quantity and quality of food available, larger kangaroos typically feed in mobs. The majority of kangaroos and wallabies are grazers. They move about the Australian savanna, cutting grasses with their teeth. However, tree kangaroos consume whatever is nearby, including leaves, flowers, ferns, moss, and insects. The tree kangaroos at the San Diego Zoo receive a daily supply of veggies, a handful of high-fiber biscuits, herbivore pellets, and browse. Our wallabies receive high-fiber herbivore pellets, grass hay, occasional browsing, and greens or vegetables only for training purposes. Family life. Mob, troop, or herd are terms used to describe a group of kangaroos. They are extremely sociable. Consider the well-known jabbing and boxing motions of kangaroos as macropod sign language. The jab, according to those who study kangaroos, is just one expression in a vast lexicon that also includes glances, hisses, avoidance hops, kicks, punches, delicate touches, and grooming. Behaviorists recently found that the processes kangaroos take to get to know one another are similar to the stages baboons use to form friendships. Female kangaroos give birth to tiny, immature young called joeys that are later carried in a unique pouch called the marsupium on the doe's body. The joey latches onto a nipple inside the pouch and nurses there for several months before coming outside. Weeks before they venture out on their own, joeys frequently poke their heads out of the pouch to take a look around. Does the joey eliminate in the pouch, pee and poop? Indeed, I do. The joey doesn't create much while it is very little, and as it grows, some of what it does produce is absorbed through the lining of the pouch. However, the mother occasionally cleans out her pouch because it can become somewhat stinky. At the zoo. The San Diego Zoo has housed red and gray kangaroos as well as several kinds of wallabies since we can remember. The Taronga Zoo in Australia sent us our first tree kangaroos as a gift in 1960. The new Walkabout Australia exhibit at the Safari Park, which debuted in May 2018, lets visitors stroll down a walkway into a grassy habitat where gray kangaroos and red-necked wallabies live. Conservation. Workers were attempting to control an out-of-control population of tamar wallabies, Macropus eugenii, on Kawau Island, near Auckland, New Zealand, in 1965 after they had been imported to the island years earlier. They were shocked to learn that some of the wallabies were Macropus parma, a species of Parma wallaby that had been assumed to be extinct since the 1890s, but had somehow survived. The Parma wallabies were captured and brought to managed care facilities in Australia and other countries in the hopes that they would reproduce and eventually be reintroduced to their natural environment. This put an end to the effort to reduce the population of tamar wallabies. Another unexpected result of the Parma wallabies' resurgence was the discovery of a small colony of them in the Australian state of New South Wales's woodlands a few years later. You help us save and protect animals all across the world by supporting San Diego Zoo Animals Alliance. About. A well-known mammal. The word kangaroo often brings to mind a picture of a big, bounding critter with long ears and a baby, or joey, peeking out of its mother's pouch. Maybe you envision Kangaroo from A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh books, or H.A. Ray's Katie No Pocket from the story of the same name. Either way, kangaroos are perhaps Australia's best-known wildlife and are found in stories, movies, and even as sports team mascots the world over. Thanks for watching.